Hi everyone, I'm Gemma Stafford, professional chef, cookbook author, and your host of Need to Know, the #1 baking entertainment podcast, where we dive into tips, trends, and tasty tidbits that bakers love most. Whether you're a long-time listener or just joining us for the first time, welcome. This week we're doing something a little bit special, a handpicked collection of our favourite moments from past episodes. These are the conversations we couldn't stop talking about, sharing, and replaying. So whether you're in the kitchen, on the go, or just here for some baking joy, this is your chance to relive the best of Need to Know or discover what makes it so beloved. So let's jump right in.
Someone is asking, can I freeze pancake batter to cook them fresh on demand? Or is it better to make the pancakes and reheat them? I want to keep their fluffy texture.
I cook them off, and then I freeze them, and they're still fluffy. Yeah. If you want them freshly done, which I understand because years ago I would have thought to myself, like, that's the way I want it. I will say I saw on, I feel like it was a TikTok video, people putting pancake batter into ice cube trays and putting like a few blueberries in one, maybe a little banana in another, like flavoring in whichever way you want. Then putting the frozen ice cubes directly on the pan, they cook down and you make these little silver dollar pancakes and they're like fresh and lovely.
Really?
Isn't that nice?
Have you tried that?
No, I wanted to. I saw this woman do it.
We should definitely try that. Do you think that would work if the pancake batter has baking soda in it?
Yes, I'll be fine.
You think so?
I've been doing this so many years now. I very rarely see, and if I think it'll be fine. I do.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are, then it might make it a little bit flat, but it won't make it not yummy.
Right.
And amazing.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe they just won't be as thick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can do it. But like I prefer to just get it all done at once, and then George never knows that they're like they're frozen pancakes.
No. My go-to is usually just baking them off and then eating them. But I kind of love the ice cube pancake batter.
Isn't that fun?
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was a great idea. So I've got one for you. What is your go-to bake for a school event? I want something that I can maybe make in advance and freeze and that everyone will like. And I think you already answered that question.
We did. Brownies. Everybody
brownies.
Brownies,
love a brownie?
or cookie dough if you want to, if you have time to bake.
Can I just tell you something? For school events and stuff like that, don't even bother scooping your cookie dough. Push it into a pan, bake it in a pan. So now you're not spending your time scooping it. So now you just have tray bakes.
Oh, that's even better.
Even better, right? Yeah. And now you have less edges and all goo.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Kids love that.
See, there you go.
That. Well, also, look, I mean, it's not freezing at advance, but pantry staples, Rice Krispie treats always work.
That's true.
Everybody loves that.
And on that note, I learned a lot.
I did too.
I feel a little bit more organized in my head, at least.
I feel inspired to be organized after we talked about all of this. I can't.
I just want to go try those pancakes.
We have a question from Jill, posted in just recently in 2025. She asked, I want to make a fruit-filled pavlova for a party, but it's hot and humid now where I live. Will it come out okay?
Next question. It's really tough. It's really tough. I'll tell you why. Meringue in humid climates is really hard.
Yeah.
The best notes I can give you, and I've looked into this a good bit, is there's three things. Make it during the cold part of the day where you have the least humidity, because it'll whip up and it'll be easier to make. Okay, so do that then. And then when you've made it and it's done, store it in the coolest part of your house. If you have to stick it up on your wardrobe, then do that. But just try and keep it away from the most humid part of the house, away from open windows. Just tuck it away somewhere. Those are the best things that you can do. It is so egg whites are so sensitive to humidity, it makes it quite difficult.
So I have a question for you about that, a follow-up question. Would it be better for her to maybe consider making an Eton mess, where the meringue is just sort of, it would still be kind of weepy?
It could be dissolvy.
Right.
So even if you made an empty, it's just all meringue.
Right.
Meringue is just a very hard thing to make in humid climates.
You know what she should make? She should make a fool. Just skip the
skip
the
meringue. Just do the cream and there you go.
The cream and strawberries. There you go. Don't make the pavlova.
Yeah,
that's hard. Or do a sponge cake or something like that, and then put a little cream and strawberry. Yeah. I know that's not the pavlova. It's hard.
Those are my if you're hell bent on doing pavlova, those are my two tips.
Yeah, that's. I wonder if you made it and you timed it so that as soon as you pull it out of the oven, after it's like cooled and dried, you serve it like immediately.
Yeah,
So
you do that
it
too,
doesn't
yeah.
have a chance.
Yeah, like plan to eat your pavlova at like 6 a.m.
Well, no, but like say like, you like make the pavlova, it's like cooked for like baked for a couple of hours, and then you can keep it in the oven.
Oh, yeah.
With the oven turned off.
So here's the thing. You're dead right. And I do this everywhere. And I did it in Ireland. I do it here. Store pavlova, in your oven, oven off. Even if there's a pilot light, that's okay.
Yeah.
Keep it in your oven.
Yeah. Yeah. And
In
then
those humid climates.
maybe like if you bake it at like, if you want to do it after dinner and you make it at like 3, you cook it for a couple of hours, turn off the oven at 5, and then serve it by 8. And it's just been sitting in the oven for 4 hours or something. Maybe then it would be okay.
I think that is a good option. My last thing, and this is from many years of experience, put a sticker on the oven or put over the heat temperature to stop you turning on the oven, because many times I've had a pavlova in the oven and then I'm like, oh, I'm going to make cookies or put on a chicken, and then I put up the oven to 400 and then I open up my meringue is
oh my God.
kaput.
Oh, that's so sad.
Okay, well, one more question on me.
Okay.
So I just watched your updated strawberry no-bake cheesecake, and we updated this cheesecake because it was very popular, but we had no gelatin in the original recipe. Then we updated it with gelatin, and it looks perfect for summer. It is, thank you. Can I make it with other fruit like blueberries, mango pulp?
Yes. Okay. So the answer is you can do it with any other fruit, but you do have to be careful about certain fruits that have a lot of enzymes in them that will interact with the gelatin.
Yes.
So papaya, pineapple.
Pineapple's a devil.
Kiwi, mango.
Oh, boo.
Yeah, figs, fresh figs.
What?
And there's one other fruit that I can't remember, but you could probably find it online. But those in particular that I just listed, they all have a different kind of enzyme that's not all the same, but that will interact with gelatin and keep it from setting.
Yeah.
But there is a workaround. Like if you really want to do, a mango no-bake cheesecake, you either can get canned mango or you can cook any fruit puree, like of the ones I listed. You can puree the fruit and you cook it down for about 5 minutes. Then you should be good to go because the heat destroys the enzyme.
Tommy, you just dropped a whole pile of knowledge on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This question is for you. It is about herbs from Jane. She says, my herbs are growing like crazy and I just can't use them fast enough. Any ideas?
Oh, yeah. I have lots of ideas.
Right.
Well, first, you can make a compound butter, which is so you take butter, you take your fresh herbs, whichever ones you pulverize the fresh herbs or you chop them up really well. You mix them with some softened butter. And if the butter is not salted, it's nice to put a little pinch of salt in the butter as well. If it's salted, you don't have to do anything else. And then you've got this like lovely butter. You can have like a tarragon butter that you put a little pat of on a steak or a piece of fish. You can have basil butter, any kind of herb. You can combine herbs if you like those herbs. That can go in your freezer and you can pull that out whenever you want that. So that's one option. Another thing that you can do is you can take fresh herbs, clean them well. You put them in your blender with depending on, with a good amount of kosher salt, and you blend them up and the salt will sort of preserve those vegetables. And then you can take like a tablespoon or 2 and use them in place of a stock in a soup. That will last, I've done that with parsley. I've done like an entire bunch of parsley in a cup of salt. And blended that up and put it in a jar in my fridge for, a month. And then, it's pretty salty, and herby. So then you put that in a pot of water or something and you get this like flavored water. It's a wonderful way to preserve herbs.
Oh.
Number 3, also tie up your herbs and then hang them somewhere upside down from a knob in your cabinet or from a windowsill or something. That'll dry them out. Mm-hmm. And then you can crumble those dried herbs and put them in jars. And you've got these really fresh, really flavorful dried herbs.
Yeah, the one thing is those are all great tips. The one you said about drying your herbs is interesting because you would think fresh is best. The color is bright and the flavor of fresh is so lovely. But when it comes to actually drying out something, you're removing the water, you're concentrating the flavor. So technically, so actually, people don't know that dried herbs can have a more intense flavor than fresh herbs. Now, they're two different flavors. Dried dill tastes different to fresh dill, but they are great to have.
Right. Oh, and the last final thing, certain herbs that get very stocky, like mint, mint can like kind of grow up straight up. Cut them up and put them in a bouquet. Just put them in a vase of water and like they can make your kitchen table look beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of the question that I have. My question would be, like my herbs look like, I can't even grow rosemary. You know the way like you look around LA and there's bushes of rosemary?
Yeah.
Like I can't grow rosemary. At one point I stopped watering it because I just thought like this, I can't deal with this anymore. It's just dead. And it came back to life because I ignored it.
Oh, so you were overwatering it, which can happen.
Yeah, then I started watering it again. Now it's dead.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. I'm quite domestic. And I'm getting better in the garden. But it's just, I don't know, with the fruits and the vegetables and stuff. I'm not so much.
I think it can be hard. I think it'd be hard to grow a garden. It's a totally different thing than baking a loaf of bread.
It is.
Yeah. So Gemma, I have a question for you. And the question is, I have so many berries and I am not one for canning or making preserves. Is there another way I can use them?
Yes. This is what I do. Because I could have written that question. I do not can, I do not preserve stuff. I freeze. I do not dehydrate. That takes too much energy. So if you have the luxury of having a big freezer, I would say bag them. You can, often with berries, you want to freeze them flat on a tray. Once they're frozen, bag them up so they stay all individual. You can take out, and a few at a time. They're not all clumped together in one big lump, which can get kind of messy. And I use frozen fruit. For the majority of our baking, for bigger, bolder baking, we use a lot of frozen fruit.
Sure, for our crisps.
For our
pies.
crisps and stuff, our pies. And I will tell you, this just happened last night. We talk about this a lot, about having like, ready to go desserts pre-made to hand. I was cleaning out my freezers. I found a cobbler topping bag. And then I wanted to use it because I was making space. We have a shoot coming up. And I went to the freezer drawer. I opened it up. I saw 2 bags of peaches and I saw some blueberries. So I put my fruit into the dish. I didn't measure any of this. I threw in some corn flour, some vanilla, mixed them all together, and I crumbled on my top into the oven. An hour later, I had the most delicious peach and blueberry cobbler.
So satisfying. And
Crisp.
you barely did anything for it.
I did
right?
nothing. No joke. It literally took me 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was so good.
Yeah.
So when you have them frozen like that and in their full form, you have access to them all the time. Also, making popsicles, making smoothies with a child. We go through a lot of that stuff, making juices. George loves watermelon juice. And I will tell you also, I saw this Catherine McCord from Weelicious. I freeze all my fruit, but I never thought to freeze watermelon. And what she does is, she had a video on her Instagram. She froze watermelon and then put it in a blender. And I always do this, but I don't do it with frozen watermelon. And she made a slushy. So like a watermelon slushy all ready to go. I did it for George this week and he literally thought it was the best thing
I
ever.
think this is great because having a giant watermelon in my fridge stresses me out so much. I never know what to do with it.
We got
It's
one
so
at
big.
Costco this week. I'm already stressed.
Yeah. It
It's
takes up
one-
your whole fridge.
There's one in one fridge and one in the other.
It's like,
It
I
was
can't
30
stand it.
pounds.
I would love to. I don't even know if I could fit my watermelon in my freezer, but that's a whole other issue.
Yeah.
Oh, but final note about the berries. Don't forget about fruit leather. So if you're not one for canning or anything, but you can
fruit leather. That's a good
we
one.
have a great recipe on biggerbolderbaking.com. You just puree that and stick it in the oven, and then that lasts, in your pantry
Until it's all gone.
until it's gone. Yeah.
Great. That was great.
I
I thought it was great.
I did too.
That's all that matters.
Our first question is when you are making soft serve with dry ice, can you use any dry ice?
Oh, that's a very good question. I had to look into this before I did it. And I did not know this until I Googled it. You have to use food grade dried ice.
Okay.
So that's very important. It's hard to come by. I will tell you where I get it is Smart and Final here in Los Angeles because they're kind of like a restaurant depot. So definitely go to places like a restaurant depot, anywhere that does kind of like for catering, something like that. Like you never know, you might even get it at Costco. Like I don't know, but definitely food grade and regardless, always with dry ice, you can't touch it with your hands. So make sure you have big thick gloves on.
Right, absolutely. You'll get burns.
Oh,
You'll get
really
burns.
bad. Yeah. Be very careful. Yeah. You do have to be careful using it. And don't put it in the freezer. Did you know that?
Yes, because it will melt everything else.
Melt
in your
everything
freezer.
else. It disappears. It vaporizes.
Yeah.
And it melts everything.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you have.
until-
Yeah, if you have dry ice, you've got to store it in a cooler.
In a
In a
cooler.
separate cooler.
Yeah. I had no idea. There you go.
Another question: can I make a soft serve recipe ice cream? Your soft serve recipe ice cream in a regular ice cream maker?
You can. That's okay, but you do have to use it once it's churned. Once you put that, when you get your soft serve and you're done and whatever, anything that's left over will can't stay in the machine. And if you don't eat it, it usually then goes into a tub into the freezer, and then it will get very hard.
Right.
Nature of soft serve is to scoop it and eat it. Yeah, so just be ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't make it in advance.
That was a delicious snack, and now I am fired up to answer some questions.
Just as we get towards the end, she's all fired up.
Okay, so the first question is, what is the difference between custard-based ice cream and regular no-churn ice cream?
So custard-based ice cream is traditional, and you have to make a custard with eggs, cream, sometimes milk, and then sugar. And then you cook it on a stovetop, and then you have to churn it.
Okay.
And that's traditional, what we know is traditional ice cream. My 2-ingredient no-churn ice cream is 2-ingredient base, condensed milk and heavy whipping cream. And you whip those ingredients together, eliminating the need to be churned because you're incorporating air within the whipping. And then you can customize, you add your flavors, and then you freeze it. Those are the differences.
Right. Also eggless. For
And
people
eggless is
who
huge.
need
Yeah,
it to be
yeah,
eggless.
No cooking.
And then how do you, in terms of the 2-ingredient ice cream, how do you prevent it from getting too icy instead of creamy?
It's a funny one because so I know some people say theirs comes a little bit icy. Generally by nature, it's not an icy ice cream. And I'll tell you why, because one way to avoid it is make sure you've whipped your cream enough. Make sure that you're using heavy whipping cream with 36% fat content. Anything less will be very difficult to whip, and it's not what's recommended for my ice creams. That will get a lot of air. Then you add in your condensed milk, you whip that up. You want to get stiff peaks before you add in your flavors. This will help to avoid any iciness and ice crystals forming later. And I will tell you, there's some ingredients that go in that can make them a little bit icy, like adding in just fruit all chopped up in lumps or whatever. That will freeze icy. Putting in some sauces that are not cooked can end up being icy. So it really depends. But generally, like the rule of thumb is just make sure it's whipped up really well. It shouldn't be icy.
Sure. I'll throw in a couple of other thoughts. If you aren't storing your ice cream in a chest freezer, most other freezers that are connected to a fridge are frost-free. And what happens with the frost-free freezer is that it goes through these cycles where it partially defrosts and then refreezes. And that prevents the freezer from building up ice crystals all in the freezer like old-fashioned freezers used to do. So if you are planning on storing your ice cream long term, it's going to constantly partially melt and then refreeze. And so if people are dealing with icy ice cream, it might be that it has been stored too long. So really you want to consume any kind of no-churn or any kind of homemade ice cream within a couple of weeks for the best texture.
Yeah, for the best texture.
And last tip, if you are not opposed to a little alcohol, a tablespoon or 2 of vodka in your ice cream won't taste like anything, and the alcohol will keep it from freezing too hard and getting icy.
And same goes for Ami, went straight to the alcohol. You can also do vanilla.
Vanilla is, if it's alcohol-based vanilla, it's just alcohol-flavored. It's just vanilla-flavored alcohol. Okay,
That's
Gemma.
Judgy much? But that's very true. It lowers the freezing point.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
So here's a great question to follow that. Can I use non-dairy cream or milk to make homemade ice cream?
Absolutely. If you're able to eat eggs, I would definitely do a custard based. Then I would definitely make a non-dairy ice cream with a custard base where you're cooking the eggs so that you get the proper fat and richness in your ice cream. If you want to make it completely vegan, there is a recipe on Bigger Bolder Baking for a no-churn 2-ingredient ice cream that uses coconut milk and coconut cream. So definitely check that out.
Yeah. It can tend to be a little bit icier just from my personal experience because, like Ami said, because of the not as high a fat content, but it's still totally doable. Ami, I have a question for you. What is harder, baking or podcasting, and why?
Well, I would have to say, though I love them both, I would have to say maybe the podcasting is harder just because I'm newer at it. Though on the other hand, it's so fun to just sit around and talk about food and talk about all things food. So it's such deep joy. But as we're just, kind of figuring out, what we're saying, how we're saying it, I'd definitely say it's more challenging only because it's newer.
I agree. People, we never talked really about the process, but weeks prior, we start like writing and researching. We have somebody who helps us with that, Michelle, on our team. So much work goes into it. So I have to say though, personally, because of the hard work that's done prior to the filming of the podcast, done by you and I, we all sit down with Michelle, we look at the content, we go through what the topics that we like. Been doing it for 11 years now, is the baking. I find the videos harder. This is I find the podcasting easier. Yeah, it's shorter periods. It's not I'm sitting down. Right, I get to eat stuff. Like it's easier. It's
not so much the time here where we're sitting and talking. It's all the research prior. I find it to be you coming up with, what would be interesting to talk about? What are some interesting topics? What's going on? Looking, all of that. Just finding the material. I find to be a challenge and a wonderful challenge. Whereas with baking, I feel like there's a million things in the back of my head. Like, oh, I got to bake that. I want to bake that. I want to bake that. So like when it's time to bake, the hardest thing is just choosing what to bake.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So Gemma, what sleeper recipe on Bigger Bolder Baking hasn't gotten a ton of attention, but is a must bake?
You're going to like this answer. I had to put this question out to the team because especially the people who work on social to find out like what they thought, what really pops. Hawaiian mochi.
Oh, I love that. I would never have said that because I bake it religiously all the time. Like literally I made it twice last week for different things.
People who know it love it. Yeah. But not everybody knows about it. I didn't know about it until I started working with you. Yeah. Go to biggerbolderbaking.com, Hawaiian butter mochi. It is hugely popular. It always blows up when we put it on social, but not something that everybody knows about. That's a fun one.
Yeah. And so good.
So good. And then we can both answer this last question, Ami. What's the BBB recipe that you go back to again and again?
Your pancakes, 100% of the time.
Oh, that's nice.
I love them. We make them like once a week. They're so good.
Wow, that is again and again.
That is again and again. Yeah, that's the only pancake recipe I use. It's the best ever pancakes, and they really, really are the best ever.
Do you know what? What I love going to my own cookbooks, and that recipe is actually in my cookbook, and baking from my cookbook. That's how I know that it's of use to somebody, that it's practical, that they're using it like on a weekly basis or whatever. I love my frozen custard on my website. I make that often. When I make ice cream here, I usually make the frozen custard. It's like Shake Shack version. It's very rich. It's creamy. It's kind of yellowy in color. It's so delicious. It's salty, loads of vanilla.
Yum.
So delicious. That's a real treat. I'll churn it freshly and then I'll eat it like maybe 4 hours later. That's my favorite.
Yum. Sounds good. I'm gonna have to make some frozen custard now.
It's very good. Have you got an ice cream machine?
I do. It's one of those KitchenAid bowls.
Yeah.
It doesn't stay frozen super long. I saw on a video somebody had one of these like ninja.
Yeah, the
creamy.
Yeah, the creamy.
I really wanted one, but I also don't like appliances.
The mom in school was telling me about that one. I think because you can do like fruit and stuff.
I know. I don't like things ever. But I want one all the same.
Okay. Think about on your Christmas list.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, everybody, for watching, for listening. Please do not forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. And we will see you back here again, same time, same place next week. Take care.
From HRN and the Bold Baking Network, you are watching the Need to Know Baking Entertainment podcast.